Good evening and welcome. It's 7:30. It's the 19th day of November 2021. It's a cool, brisk evening, but the heat is supposed to shoot up, and we're now just got a fire warning on the phone. So I guess here in California, we're now under fire warning again. Yay! And speaking of fire, today's race is Kobold. I don't know how I made that connection. Kobold, dragons, fire, yeah. So we are continuing to take a look at all the optional races that are available to player characters in Volo's Guide to Monsters, and today is the 11th most popular race, coming in at 0.7%, the Kobold. There is the official version of Kobold, then we have the playtest version that has made its way over to the Fizban's Guide to Dragon, or some variation. And I could already tell that of the two, the playtest version actually makes more sense than this one, because this one makes no sense. Especially these two abilities right here. Well, Pack Tactics makes sense, but this one, Gobble, Cower, and Bag, I'm just reading it. It's like, this is written really weird, and it doesn't make sense. Okay, so as a Kobold player character, you get a Dex +2. Age, alignment, size doesn't matter anymore. We have a base speed of 30 feet. You have dark vision 60 feet. Now here we go. Grovel, Cower, and Beg. As an action on your turn, you can cower pathetically to distract nearby foes. Until the end of your next turn, your allies gain advantage on attack rolls against enemies within 10 feet of you that can see you. Once you use this trait, you cannot use it again until you finish a short or long rest. So this is obviously written before the change, because now it seems like special abilities you can use a number of times per proficiency, because if you go down here, it says number of times equal to your proficiency bonus. So this obviously is the change post Tasha Wishlight, and this is pre Tasha Wishlight. So once per short rest, I can cower in a corner, and if anybody sees me, everybody else gets advantage on the bad guys. No saving throw, nothing. But I can only use it once per combat, because then I gotta take a short rest. But don't the bad guys get advantage on me if I'm cowering? Because I'm not taking a hide action. I'm not taking a disengage action. I am literally standing in the corner and cowering and whimpering, and that gives all my friends advantage on the bad guys. But I would think the bad guys, if they choose to attack me, would get advantage too, right? That seems fair. Okay, so that one is just, I don't know. It's written really bad. It seems kind of dumb. I don't know. The other one actually sort of makes sense. They have Pack Tactics, where if you advantage on attack roll against a creature of at least one of your allies is within 5 feet of the creature, and the ally is incapacitated. So this is sort of like the help action, but like upgraded. And I'm happy with that one. I would get rid of Grovel, Cower, and Beg, or rewrite it. And I'd be perfectly fine with Pack Tactics. That totally makes sense. They also have sunlight sensitivity, which means you have disadvantage on things in the sun, but I want to say they've gotten rid of sunlight sensitivity because it gives races a disadvantage, and under the current thinking of Wizards of the Coast and how races are perceived, we don't want anything to have a perceived handicap or disadvantage. And of course, they speak read and write common and draconic. So I would think since sunlight sensitivity is probably gone post Tasha Wishlight, but I'm not sure. Then we have this playtest version, which I'm going to guess probably has appeared in some form in Fizban's. And this one is also written rather weird, but I do like the ability. So ability score increase. Increase one ability score by 2 and increase another one by 1. Yes, that's the post-Tasha change. But then kobolds have an additional ability to increase 3 different scores by 1 instead. I don't think we've seen that in any of the other post-Tasha's races, or the modifiers, the changes. So that's different. Why did the kobolds get a bonus that nobody else does? Blah, 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 speed, humanoid, dark vision. Okay, so here we go. Draconic Legacy. So we lose Grovel, Cower, and Beg, but we get this Draconic Legacy, and you can choose one of these to be your thing. Advantage on saving throws to avoid an end frightened condition on yourself, or you can know one cantrip from the sorcerer spell list, so you get a free spell, or you can make unarmed strikes with your tail, which count as a d6 plus strength modifier bludgeoning damage. And since there's no disadvantage for kobolds on strength anymore, you could have an 18 strength kobold that gets an unarmed attack at first level that does a d6 plus strength. That's more than, that's pretty good. You also have something called Draconic Roar. You can use this a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus. This is the second or third time we've seen it written this way, and I like that. As much as I, can him and haw on what choices Wizards has made post Tasha's, this is a much better way. I mean, you get twice instead of once at first level, but still, it feels more organic because as you level, that ability gets sort of better because your proficiency gets better as you level, but not to any great amount. And it feels much. If you're gonna have a special ability that's limited, that feels like a better way to write it. So Draconic Roar, you roar. If enemies see you within 10 feet, you and your allies have advantage on attack rolls against those enemies who could hear you roar. You can use this trait a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, and you regain it when you finish a rest. Could be worded better, but yeah, if my choice is between Draconic Roar and Grovel, Cower, and Beg, I'm going to take this one because this one is just written weird, and it just innately says that while I'm cowering in the corner and all my friends can have advantage on their attacks against the bad guys logically should get advantage on any attacks against me because I'm cowering in the corner in bright sight, making a target of myself. Pay attention to me so you don't pay attention to my friends while they're stabbing you. Well, of course I'm going to pay attention to you, and I'm going to shoot you. So this is dumb. I'm happy with pack tactics. Sunlight sensitivity, I feel like that's something Wizards would have gotten away with. If they haven't yet, we will see it go away. I'm really happy with this. Draconic Legacy, that totally makes sense. I'm totally cool with that. Draconic Roar, I mean, I don't see a Kobold roaring, but if I'm going to give them an ability where they can, affect the outcome of combat, I'd take that over Garvel, Cower, and Beg, because that's just badly written, and it really doesn't make a lot of sense, and it just sort of feels silly, and also puts the character in a position where they're going to most likely get slaughtered. So, yeah, this one feels a little bit better if you want to go with the Draconic Kobolds. I don't remember when Kobolds became Draconic. They used to be sort of like these little lizard rat people. And somehow they became Draconic, probably 2nd edition, maybe 3rd. But, originally they were these ugly little rat dogs. Lizard rat dogs. Yeah. So what do you think? Would you allow Kobolds as a player character race in your game? Do you feel they're different enough from from goblins and halflings to represent a niche that needs to be filled? I guess they'd be bards or rogues with that ability. Which version do you like? Do you like the straight out of the Volo's Kobold, or do you like the Unearthed / Fizbin's Kobold? I mean, I'm assuming this has made its way into Fizbin's. I'm not 100% sure, but everything else from that playtest did, so why not? Maybe not exactly written like this. If I was going to change it, I'd probably get rid of Draconic Roar. But the Draconic Legacy, I'm perfectly fine with. I mean, you only get to choose one, and you only ever get one unless something weird happens. So yeah, I'm perfectly fine with that. I'm perfectly fine with pack tactics. This is dumb. So, and there's the computer going weird. So yeah, there you go. What do you think? Let me know if you've ever used them in your game, if you'd allow them in your game, if you think they make sense, if you think they're dumb. If you want to see me continue with this project, let me know. I guess we've got 2 more to go. Number 12 and number 13 are the 2 races left. Your guess is as good as mine as what those 2 races are. So yeah, if you appreciate this, let me know. If not, let me know. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Help me hit 1,000 subs by January 1st, and we'll do something crazy. Till then, despite everything going on in the world, have a great evening and happy holidays, and get off my land.